Yeah, so this is basically, I guess, a real life mock-up of like a slum house. So you can say, it's all made of like makeshift materials. Like.
So like, is this what you guys make like right after?
No. The ones we make are not really good. It's different.
So this is like what people normally.
Yes.
I'm Vicky from Habitat for Humanity Hong Kong. I'm the Senior External Affairs Officer. So we are the international non-profit housing organization. So I firmly believe that the house will change everything because after you have a stable shelter, you will live in security. You can rebuild your future. Your children could study in a safe shelters. So that's why they could they can get more economic activities. So the house will break the cycle of poverty. So that's why we would say the house would help those vulnerable families to build their strength, the self-resilience and their stability. And then we build houses especially for those in the disaster-prone area and the developing countries. So we will send volunteers to build houses with them. And for a local program, we do the house renovation project. So we we send the volunteers to the public housing estates and do some basic repairs on their home. Most of them, their ceiling would have the paint flicking off from the ceiling. So that's why we will send the volunteers here, especially with the students. Then they can spare like weekend and then they can scrap the ceiling, scrap the paint from the ceiling, and then we do the painting. Especially for the elderly who are not able to do the repair, we can help them to save their life from the scrapping paints, and then they can enjoy our clear meal. With the elderly, actually she needs to use a wet plastic bag cover her head because she is afraid of the flicking paints from the ceiling. To do the all painting, like climbing up the ladder, it is very challenging task for her. So after our weekend, so we have like 6 to 7 volunteers, and then to help to do the home renovation project, and then so now she could enjoy a happy and healthy meal on her own home. In Hong Kong, I think the Hong Kong is the most unaffordable houses, so we need to pay 13 years of money without any living expenses. Then you can get the house. Actually, housing is a basic human right. The government may not find out that it is their responsibility to have different types of housing, because now you can see the housing ladder is not that ready, because before that we have the public housing, we have the subsidized housing, and we have the private housing. The housing market is distorted. The high land price to result have a high floor price, high housing price, and so that's why we cannot afford anymore. So it requires more housing supply, especially for the public housing, and to explore more innovative way. So now we can see some of the organizations are working on the social housing. So this is one of the co-share or some transitional shelter for those families who are still waiting for public housing. Now we are discussing the land supply, but we can see that the land supply may not be that scarce as what the government has mentioned, because we can see many lands are abandoned, many lands are still not occupied and not fully used well. So that's why we would urge the government to fully utilize all the land resources before we do any maybe the land refill or do the other options to explore more land. Because to increase the speed of the public housing construction would be the most key points to resolve the problem. So this is one of our disaster response house model. And so actually it is just one of the models. We have this one is a wooden house, we have the brick house and the bamboo house. Take the example of Cambodia. Actually we use a higher foundation because to avoid flooding. For Cambodian people, they like to store the things at the foundation. We place some chicken or ducks at the floor, at the down floor. So that's why we will adjust our house model to make it more disaster resilient as well as to feasible to their lives. Apart from the disaster-prone area, some poor European countries like Macedonia, they will use bricks and those to use steel to make the house. So it depends on the town country, like maybe this area they are disaster prone area, then we need to prevent the flooding or the typhoon. But for the other areas, their energy costs are quite high. So we will do more the house insulation materials. We will do the more like the heating, so they could reduce their heating costs or electricity costs compared to those maybe the other assistance like water or food assistance. Housing is a very permanent and long-term effect. I think house change everything, because after you have a decent and safe places to live, you can plan your future. So especially for those people who lose everything in disaster, so she has nothing, he or she has nothing. So after we have the houses, she can build her future.